Virgo, welcome back to Steampunk Psyche. If you are a returning subscriber, I want to say thank you. I appreciate you. If you're brand new to the channel, I am JT. Welcome into Steampunk Psyche. Today we're going to do a general reading for you. Like I tell everybody, I'm not going to placate to these cards. I'm going to, just kind of tell you as I see them. So if the energy fits with you, cool. If it doesn't, don't try to force anything. It is just a general reading after all. So anyway, I'm going to show you the down low. I'll shuffle up and we will talk about your present energy. We will talk about the crossing challenge. We'll talk about foundation, maybe what's lying underneath, maybe subconscious thoughts. We're going to talk about the recent past. We're going to talk about the possibilities, what kind of possibilities are there. We're going to talk about the near future. We're going to look at the self, how you're showing up in the situation. We're going to look at the environment around you, the energies around you. We're also going to look at hopes, fears, wishes, or worries. And then we will end up with the outcome and the direction for you, Virgo. I will show you the cards up close, but I'm going to lay them out here and we will get started. Okay, let's see what we got. Turn it around for you. Okay, Virgo, I am going to take just a minute to look at these cards, and while I am doing that, I have your 3 brand new poems from Haiku Corner. Okay, we are back. We are going to get into your reading, and I hope that something resonates with you, okay? I'll give you the down low, and we'll get started on what these cards represent for you. Okay, your current energy, your present energy, the King of Pentacles. So what this is saying to me is you're in your stability era, okay? Grounded, leveling up financially, emotionally. And I feel like somebody sees this. Somebody is recognizing this, okay? You're attracting in someone that's mature, stable, maybe, intentionally. I do feel like this is a masculine energy that's, kind of watching your glow up from a distance, maybe. You're really being kind of selective, about who's going to get access to you, okay? You're kind of like prioritizing your long-term security, maybe, over like that a temporary type attention that people have a tendency to do. I feel like there is this kind of an energy that's like somebody's looking at you like, yeah, I could make you my wife. I could make you my husband. You have that kind of, your husband material, your wife material, but they haven't said it yet, So we're going to move on now into the crossing challenge and what this may represent. We have the 6 of Swords, right? You're trying to move on, but something just keeps pulling you back. Okay. I feel like maybe you're mentally like leaving someone, um, but maybe emotionally attached still. Someone keeps resurfacing, you know. It's sort of like about the time you start healing up, you know. You notice like you'll just be having those days where emotionally you're in shambles, but everything that like the sun comes out, everything clears up. You start to feel really good, but you feel like there's just something that just keeps resurfacing, um, about the time that you're healing, it just this whole tendency to get pulled back kind of energy, right? So you're trying to detach from this pattern, maybe, like you're outgrowing this pattern. Okay. I feel like maybe you're a little tempted to revisit it, that past connection, but, and it could represent, just kind of like struggling to finally just close this chapter of your story, right? So that's kind of what that Six of Swords represents there in that situation. Take what energy applies, you guys. Sometimes it fits, sometimes it doesn't. And now we're moving on to the foundation, maybe like subconscious mind, something like that. But you're winning, okay? You got the victory card, right? People are noticing this. You might be getting a little more attention than usual. Out of the blue, people are opening up to you or seeking advice from you, something like that. I'm not sure. It doesn't have to apply, but um, I feel like someone from your past is jealous of your glow up. If you'll notice on this Six of Wands right over here, it's kind of hard to see, but there is a person that's kind of staring up at the rider. And some say it's kind of like this tendency to have this jealous, there's somebody jealous of you, like you don't deserve this victory or something like that. It could be third party situation. I don't know. But yeah, someone from your past is kind of like jealous of that situation. So anyway, you're stepping really into your own confidence. Okay. And this might have been after a long period of doubting yourself, like who I am, what I represent, what I stand for. Okay. And so this is making you be a little more visible, right? Could be you're posting a little more online, something like that, or in real life, sharing, situations or stories or whoever you're conversing with, whatever it is. But I got this feeling like someone wants to kind of claim you, but hasn't really made a move yet. Okay. Knocking everything around here. We're going to take a look now at the recent past with this Eight of Swords energy. Okay. It's kind of like you're stuck in your head, overthinking everything. You know, you may have felt trapped in a situationship without the clarity. If we were talking about a relationship pattern there or whatever. And you're kind of like waiting on someone who keeps just confusing the hell out of you. You know, you doubted your worth, maybe because of that person's, inconsistent, inconsistency with you, right? Kind of here and there. Um, but anyway, yeah, it's kind of like this powerlessness, especially if we're talking about a connection here. Okay. And maybe you might have been a little bit afraid to walk away. This is kind of the illusion card. The Eight of Swords is definitely an illusion card. Okay. It's more in the head. Yeah. So anyway, we're going to move on now into the possibilities, and we have the Five of Pentacles, right? So the Five of Pentacles is really like a fear of abandonment, right? It could talk about somebody who kind of breadcrumbs you, ghosted you. Conversations are going good, and then there's just silence. But definitely that feeling left behind, kind of abandonment, right? Afraid of choosing, something wrong again. Could be your energy saying, I don't want to go through this again. I don't want to deal with this kind of emotional neglect while I'm trying to heal. I'm sick of it. But someone's regretting leaving you, out in the cold, maybe. Uh, that could be the energy that I'm picking up on too. So someone's kind of regretting how they treated you, maybe. But you're learning to stop chasing people who, don't show up, right? Okay. Now we're talking about the near future here. We have the Seven of Cups. So this is options, right? Choices, temptation, could be. But you're not stuck anymore. It's like you're in demand. Okay. I think you possibly could have multiple romantic interests appear at once, maybe. Someone from the past could return, while someone new enters. It has all those possibilities of that taking place. So it kind of gives you that feeling like you're just kind of like unsure of who to really trust in that situation. And you could be just exploring your options instead of like settling, with just a particular person or situationship, whatever. Anyway, you're realizing you got more power than maybe you thought, right? So now we're going to move on into the stance, the self, how you're showing up. And we have the hanged man. Oops. Yeah, the hanged man here. We could be talking about a situation where an intentional hanging here, right? It's just kind of like giving me that. I'm pulling back. I'm trying to think about what I need to do here. Um, what directions I need to go. We could be talking about Pisces energy here. We don't have to be, but it's like, yeah, with all these choices, and it makes sense. You have the Seven of Cups with all these choices. Where do I go? What do I do? And it's kind of like a natural instinct. It may be like a little seclusion. You may have pulled back from your texting or your, the back and forth information if there was communication or something like that. But you really kind of just pulled back, to gather your thoughts to make sure that you're clear on your decisions, things that things that are going on in your life, right? So now we're going to be looking at the environment around you, right? The environment around you, the Three of Cups. So I've got like this feeling that someone's really ready to reconnect with you. Okay. Someone wants to celebrate with you. Someone really wants to be around your energy. A reunion with someone, maybe from your past, a friend or an ex-friend or something like that, maybe wanting to reconcile differences or something like that. We could be talking about third-party influence, maybe in a romantic situation. Um, Someone watching your social media with curiosity. So, like I said, it was kind of like that intentional pullback. And with that Seven of Cups having the options, that you may have multiple people now. People are seeing your glow up. People are seeing that victory card, right? That victory information, with that Six of Wands. So it's kind of like um, you're kind of discovering there's options now, but you're just going to really, and that Hanged Man kind of told me that you're just really going to be, you're going to be very decisive about what you do here, how you play this, the non-game game, right? Um, so yeah, someone is really wanting to maybe test the waters again with you. I'm not sure. Could be, right? So now we move on into the hopes, fears, wishes, and the worries. And we do have the Sun card. Okay. So you want real happiness, genuine happiness, but you're afraid of being disappointed again, and it makes sense. You want clarity, you want honesty. You're like, I am not fucking putting up with this repeating old pattern bullshit anymore. You want love that feels easy, right? Not draining you. Um, but you kind of have that fear of being vulnerable or maybe too vulnerable, because that's your energy. It's that joyful, easy, peaceful. And you're just hoping someone will finally choose you, openly, somebody that will come towards you with the same amount of joyful and brightness that you represent here. Okay. So now we move on into the outcome and the direction, and we have the Star now, right? So healing, hope, renewal, a wish coming true, right? A new love that feels aligned and peaceful. Um, I feel like there's a really a healed version of you that's attracting in way better connections. They represent this card definitely represents that balance between the spiritual side and more of the self, the human side of yourself. So groundedness and maturity. A dream relationship forming slowly, naturally. Anyway, you're becoming the best version of yourself is what I'm getting at. So, but a spiritual or emotional breakthrough in this situation. So, so yeah, it's like Virgo. Here's the part that nobody's going to tell you, right? You know, you've been operating like the King of Pentacles here. Okay, stable, loyal, dependable. But it's kind of like you've been giving that energy to people who don't give a shit. You know, it's like they don't know how to handle somebody who's solid, somebody who's stable, right? Somebody who's consistent, and you know, you give and you give, right? So yeah, like the Six of Swords here, it's kind of like it shows that you're trying to move on, you know. But the Eight of Swords over here, you know, but the Eight of Swords is kind of like it's old mistakes, old versions of you, you know, it's kind of like your mind just wants to keep replaying that stuff, you know, stuff. You're not stuck. You're just kind of like healing from a time whenever, you know, you didn't really understand your own value, your own worth, right? And so then we have this Five of Pentacles here, and it's kind of like it's reminding you that that you've been abandoned before, emotionally or literally, you know, and that wound there, it just kind of, you know, it kind of has that sense of whispering to you every once in a while, right? But it's lies. You know, now you got the Six of Wands energy, okay, and the Three of Cups also, right? So it's kind of like you're stepping into a season where people actually want to be around you now, you know, and not that there was anything wrong with you. It's just they're understanding just how fucking magnetic you are, how powerful you are, you know. And then you got the Seven of Cups also, right? Yeah, and so it's kind of like you're chosen, you know, um, with options. But here's the truth, like, you know, not every person deserves the access to you, right? Not every person deserves that access to you. Not every stranger deserves a response. Not every, you know, hey, I miss you. You know, not all of them deserve a response. You know, you got the sun and the star as your hopes and your outcome, right? And that's your confirmation that choosing yourself definitely is the right move here. You know, um, your healing really is the plot twist here in this situation, and your glow up, if you want to know the truth, that's fucking revenge in itself. You know, so your piece is kind of like the new standard of the way for you in this situation. So yeah, stop romanticizing potential. Stop overthinking someone else's mixed ass signals. You know, don't be giving your loyalty away to people who don't give you clarity. You know, and really stop assuming that you're hard to love. Right? You know, you're just done with this bare minimum bullshit. Right? You're done with that. Yeah, you know, you're going to choose connections that feel safe for you. The past is all about you realizing that now your path is supposed to be peaceful, right? It's healed, and it's not that version of you that was hurting in the past. So, excuse me, you're not losing anyone. You're outgrowing them, right? And that's the whole point of this. So Virgo, um, you know, you're stepping into an era where you finally see your own value, and it's changing everything, right? And so you're done overthinking, you're done settling, you're done carrying out connections that don't carry you back. Yeah, but someone from your past is definitely watching you glow up, but that's not your responsibility anymore, you know? So stop giving your energy to people who make you question your worth. Stop waiting for clarity. Stop waiting for, you know, choose the path that feels peaceful to you. That's the one I'm trying to say, you know? Not the one that keeps you anxious or, you know, always second guessing yourself. Choose the path that's right for you. Choose the one that feels the best, your best alignment with. So it's a beautiful story. It really is. And I feel like it's so mature. It's kind of like, um, it's just beautiful in the way you're handling this. And I absolutely love you. I appreciate you. I hope this was confirmation for you. If it was, give it a thumbs up, would you? If you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit that subscription button. Don't forget to turn on your notifications so you know when the next readings come about. But anyway, Virgo, I appreciate you. I love you. I respect you. And I hope I get to see you on the next readings, okay? All right. Bye-bye.